then it'll snow. But all in all, do you know what? To be fair, considering we're in October, it hasn't been that bad. I think we probably have worse ones for sure, but it's been all right. It's been quite good. Who else have we got coming up on the stage?
We don't have anybody, so we were going to have Chris and Kurt. So Chris usually talks with me, and then Kurt is more of the he does the back end stuff, and he's doing actually what we're going to be talking about. It's going to make more sense, but I'm going to be riding solo today just because both of them have personal jobs that they got to attend to right now. So
you're stuck with the audience, by the way. Is he staying there?
Oh, I see Kurt right there. Well, I mean, I don't know because he said he was working, but absolutely. If he wants to raise his hand and come up here, and if anybody has any node specific questions that needs answered, he can even maybe do it in the chat. But yeah, I wasn't expecting him.
Well, look, it's just on 9 o'clock, and it's normally a little bit slow to start. So let me just tee it up. So, obviously, Austin, big friends of the team, big friends of the project, and he just reached out to us quite recently just to kind of say, well, it was kind of cryptic in the sense that we've got something really exciting we want to share. So I don't really know too much about what this is. So I like to do a bit of research and kind of figure out what these things are. So what you're probably going to go over today is new to me, and I'm probably going to have to think on my feet a little bit if I've got any kind of questions that I want to run through. But so this is a little bit of an exciting one for me and obviously the team. I dropped a little bit of chat to some of the guys. I think Lord Shielgorath was someone I was chatting to. He's obviously also in the audience. So the stage is pretty much yours, matey, and we'll kind of just riff a little bit and see how we go on. But I don't want to steal your thunder on anything. And I don't know if you want to give it a few minutes first just to see if a few more people come in. Obviously, we are recording as well. But as I say, it's pretty much over to you, and excited to see what you guys have been working on.
Yeah, for sure, man. And yeah, while we let more people come in, because I'm like that too. I'll get the notification. I'll have to wrap things up and then pop on over. But yeah. So before I get into the meat and potatoes, I think one reason why I chose, because for anybody that's kind of OG that knows who I am, I had a Discord a while back called Freedom Over Average, and I chose to come and work and be an actual part of the team of Cardinal House just because of everything they're doing and growing a Discord. I mean, as you know, Apex, oh my gosh, that's a whole job in itself, and I just had no desire to grow both a YouTube channel and Discord. So I was like, hey, these guys are making amazing strides for the education of the crypto space, all the stuff that they're doing. So, I pitched them. I was like, hey, why don't I become a partner with you all? I'm going to just transfer my Discord audience to you. And that's why I'm now one of the actual team members of Cardinal House. So if anybody's wondering why I'm here, that's why I'm here. And fast forward to Cardinal House and how we've kind of evolved. The premium, subscription model that we have on Cardinal House with what's called the Cardinal Crew. If anybody is unfamiliar, that's what it is. And we do we kind of okay, we see all of these premium subscription models out there, right? Costing hundreds of dollars. And we're like, how in the world is anybody paying for this stuff? Because it's the value for the price just is not there. And that's kind of where we were just, we it's $25 a month, and we were like, how can we literally quadruple that amount of value with just $25 a month? So when it came to all the different ways we were brainstorming, and we're constantly evolving to try to think of even more things to add into the Cardinal Crew, because we want to really make sure that it's a really good value for what you're getting out. But we were like, how can we add all this different stuff? Well, the first thing we did was with the education piece. Anybody can go to the free education hub that we make. We don't charge for education like that. We don't believe in that. That's crazy. Everything you can ever learn about anything investing, it's all free on YouTube. Why in the world would we charge for that? So when it came to that stuff, you can go on Cardinal House's website right now. And I mean, it's all we're constantly adding content to that. But more specific with education of Cardinal Crew, we do alpha announcements all the time of literally every day. Chris just kills it with that stuff. We post all kinds of different trading stuff. I mean, there's just so much out there that we do in that side of things. So we really attack the education side, and then the community side. We're always in there engaging with the community, if any questions come up, we're always helping people out. But there's one big pillar that we didn't really touch on that I think could add even more value. And that was, how could we add a monetary aspect to this where people are giving us money, but how could we open up a door to kind of indirectly make people money? And that's where everybody kind of knows me as well. I love real estate. I love real assets. I love that type of passive income. It's tried and true. And we were like talking about real estate and stuff like that, but it's just very difficult to get real estate translated over into crypto and keep it around even just a decent ROI. I mean, it really, I mean, we have seen so many real estate projects try to launch in the crypto space. It just doesn't work out, or legal aspects or something. So that we kind of threw that out the window. Then we started thinking about mining and stuff, but that's very saturated as well. And we just don't have the starting and manpower to really launch such an elaborate operation. So we kind of threw that out the window. So the next thing we thought of, and we made relationships with the team over at Constellation. I'm sure everybody's here heard of what the heck Constellation is, right? DAG.
Yeah, DAG.
Yeah, absolutely. So that kind of got us thinking, right? We were like, well, what in the world could we do with that? So obviously we've heard of Wolfer from Wolfer Finance, Drew Wolfer, with the nodes that he's doing, the node validation projects. And we've seen Hydra Wells with their mining and all the things they've done. That is a successful business model in the sense of they raised money and they're putting it into assets that are probably going to be here for a decent while. I think we can all kind of agree on that. So we're not going to reinvent the wheel, but how can we make it specific to us? Well, that is where now it comes into what developed as Node Runner. So what's up, Kurt? Yeah, I see him in the chat there. So yeah, and just real quick, when I get into the specifics of this, if anybody has like node specific questions, Kurt is the man to go to. So just tag him in the AMA questions. I'm sure he could answer. He just, like I said, he's at his day job, so I don't want to like bother him, having him come up on stage or anything like that. But so this is what launched Node Runner. Now, Node Runner is exactly what is in the name. We kept it kind of like Road Runner, Node Runner, because we're the Cardinal House, kind of keeping it the bird theme, adding like a cool little sexy twist to it. I'm going to maybe drop some alpha here. I didn't even ask for permission. I'm just going to do it. I'm going to drop kind of like the teaser of what the NFTs and the logo and stuff's kind of looking like. It's not a finished product, but it's kind of in the working stage. I think it looks pretty sick. And we've spent a lot of time on it. So this is what made Node Runner. Now, Node Runner is, we're hosting node validations, but here is the difference. Okay, before anybody's like, oh my gosh, they just copied Wolfer Finance. Oh my God, they copied blah, blah. This is what makes us different. So we were like, how can we make this unique to Cardinal House without just being a blatant fork or copy? Because, you know, we see this in the crypto space all the time. So number one is we're an exclusive group. This was just an added benefit to the Cardinal crew. This isn't something that we're launching a whole new Discord, a whole new, like, we're a project around hosting node validators. This is just an opportunity that is an added perk that comes with your Cardinal crew membership, that over time, as this expands and compounds and scales, it could even, you know, easily cover a Cardinal crew membership. And now you're like delta neutral and you're actually making some money. So number two,
do you mind if I just stop you a second? Yeah. I don't mean to be rude by this, so don't take this the wrong way. But obviously, we've got a lot of new faces in our own server. We've just brought in 100 days, and there may be new people. And since the last time we had Cardinal House on, I think they had a dedicated AMA, but we also had them on the Mega AMA as well. But there may be people who are unfamiliar with what the kind of initial offering is with Cardinal House. Do you want to maybe just give a little bit of a backstory as to what that is? So owning an NFT, being part of that exclusive club, what that brings you, and then obviously if we can, then tie into the Node Runner benefit that you're talking about. Only because I don't want anyone to lose traction if it's the first time they're kind of hearing about Cardinal House.
Oh no, I really appreciate that. Yeah, because I can talk for days. So yeah, don't feel bad for interrupting me. So what Cardinal House is as a whole, it's like Cardinal House at its bare roots, it's basic, it's free. Like you can literally go in there right now. It's not like there's a paywall just to get into the Discord. It's an entirely free community that we have, where we're a blockchain ecosystem. This is what we call, we're a blockchain ecosystem that we 100% focus on the education community and the crypto services that benefit everybody involved. That is the main thing. You'll see that everywhere. That's kind of like our slogan, if you want to call it that. We're really big because we came together. We're just a group of guys that made this community that we see so much crypto education is being lacking, and especially coming off the bull market where people just threw money and everything, thought they were, geniuses and stuff. And now this bear market kind of hit them really hard, right? We want to kind of bridge that gap where we want to provide as much free education and as much value as possible. And how in the world could we scale this and make it into a business? So to make it into a business, that's where we started from, scaling this to what we have in the Discord and opening up a premium side where we can add even more value and use that revenue to invest it back into the business to really scale out what we want to do at Cardinal House. And I can't release too much alpha, but because is what Cardinal House as a whole is doing, but we have some extremely crazy partnerships coming up where like I really think in the next year to 2 years down the road, like Discord projects, people that host communities, Discord, people are going to look at Discord like how we look at Telegram with what we're doing at Cardinal House and hosting everything. I'm telling you, like I feel so confident in what Cardinal House is doing with that, but I can't give up too much.
No, that's cool.
But that's what we are at Cardinal House is as a whole.
So just as a kind of, a bit of an insight into the demarcation between an unpaid and a premium service. What could you be as a paying member? What would you be expected to see as part of that paid membership? Whereas maybe as if you're just kind of in there for the free education and the community spirit and that kind of things, what's the advancements on that?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have a channel. If you join the Cardinal House Discord, there's a channel. It's called Membership Info. It gives you everything I'm about to tell you right now. I don't want to make sure I leave out anything. So the crew membership, it has crypto onboarding. So if you are like super new to crypto, this is like something no other Discord, like there's a handful of really popular like premium Discords out there. This is one thing nobody is doing, where like we take it super, super personal. So if anybody here is like new to crypto, you literally join the Cardinal crew and you reach out to Jojo. Jojo is like amazing, or any of us, but Jojo is the one that's been really facilitating it. And we do, if anybody wants, every single week, we have the ability to literally onboard you into crypto, just basic information. You have any questions, like we literally just hold your hand through anything that you want. And obviously, if you don't want to like come in voice chat or something, we have the Cardinal crew chat that you can do that as well. Now, obviously, the added benefit we have now is you have access to invest into Node Runner. This is not open to the public, so if you want to invest into Node Runner, and you're going to find out later in this how to and all that, you have to be a Cardinal crew member. So that's another benefit of what makes us different between a premium Discord and also a node project, not a strong node project, but an actual node validation project. Yeah. That's what makes us different. We're not open to the public. Another one is you get alpha announcements daily. So Chris is the primary leader. I think Zach drops him sometimes too, but Chris is amazing at this, where every single day we're just so enveloped in crypto. We have so much alpha leaks, information.
Can you give us an example of that, mate, if you don't mind? What type of alpha? Just as a pure example.
Absolutely. I'm going to break our rule here, and I'm just going to read it. So this is an example. Okay, so this was literally yesterday that Chris dropped, because he drops them every single day, kind of around the evening time frame as he conglomerates information. So he dropped two different, so he kind of wrapped up the AMAs. He was talking about the AMAs we have coming up. Only Burns talking about the seed round. So he was talking about, hey, don't forget, if you're interested in Only Burns, there's a seed round with art. If you have preference to crypto software, please let me know. I'll reach out.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, straight away you see that it's like, and I imagine, and correct me if I'm wrong, but you're going to get, I don't want to use the word first dibs, but ultimately, if you're an investor within Cardinal House will have relationships with the likes of Only Burns and other kind of projects where you get that kind of first access level. Whereas if you're just Joe Blogs, just as a community member, you may not get access to these kind of seed round sales and stuff like that. So there's an element of kind of, being first in the line, so to speak, as part of that partnership.
Absolutely. And I just dropped if everybody checks the AMA questions, because I really don't want to like read it all and waste people's time, because it's a lot. So this is just one alpha announcement that Chris does literally every single day. Like it's literally, and I can't even copy the whole thing because Discord says I can only have so many characters. But that's just one snippet of every single day, just research he puts into things. If like, there's this free service out there. I forgot what it's called, that it emails you every single day. It's like something coffee or something like that. And I get emails every single day. I just haven't read them lately. That's why I'm like blanking on the name. And you can customize that email service based on whatever you want, like finances, investing in general, whatever. And that's kind of like what we're doing with crypto. Someone was calling me. It's called Morning Brew. So if you look that up, that's exactly like what alpha announcements is. You're getting regular information updates with what's going on in the crypto markets. If we have any insider alpha info that we found looking on Twitter or something, we'll put it there so you don't have to like always go out and find this research yourself. That's kind of like what the alpha announcements there is for.
Do you mind just breaking down, so if someone wants to join the premium service, what's that look like? Is it an NFT? I kind of know what the answer is here. I'm just replaying the episode for people who may be new. But basically, what's the entry? What do you receive? Sorry, what's the cost rather? I'm assuming it's an NFT, and then is it a recurring fee, or kind of just break that down for us, please, Austin?
Yes. So first you would go into the Discord, and then under Cardinal info, there is a membership info channel. You'll click that. Gives you all the other benefits there. If you just want to understand everything, I'll copy that and put it in the AMA questions too. And then there's a little link. So this is a link that is attached to the Me6 bot, like we all know. And one of the cool features of the Me6 bot is you'll click on that link, and it's a reoccurring fiat subscription. So whatever your local fiat is, that's how you pay it. We are working in the future with you can pay it with the Cardinal token. We do have a token. There's no like rebasing. We're not a the token isn't passive income opportunity. It's literally just a token, a part of the Cardinal House ecosystem. So that is another added way you could pay it if you wanted to do it that way. And then it's $25 a month. You will never hear of us charging you anything more, anything crazy like that. You connect your stuff to the Me6 bot, and if you pay I'm opening up the link here. If you pay for 3 months in advance, you get 8% off. 6 months in advance, you get 12% off. And then if you pay for the whole year, you get 16% off. So that's how you get into the Cardinal crew. Yeah.
When did it? I mean, you may not know this answer, mate. So don't worry if you don't. But when was it launched? The premium service?
I'm not sure, because they were running that right when right before I believe I joined their team. I would like to say maybe July. I think
I have a key question around this, you see. So Kurt, if you're in the if you can maybe just drop that in the AMA questions channel, just so I can, because ultimately what I want to know is, since the paid service started, how many retentions have you had? So, if someone just came in for a month, realized value or not realized value, and then decided, a month later to get out, or what I'm trying to say from my perspective is it constantly adding value where people are happy to pay the $25 on a month by month basis and just continue that journey, or are you noticing maybe a drop in numbers? I'm just trying to get a sense on the feasibility of it.
Yeah, that's a great question. I'll even send a screenshot here. So, like I said, I joined the Cardinal team around June, July timeframe. I think it was actually July. Yeah, around July. And from July, that's been a steady growth in members. I remember when I first ever looked at the Cardinal crew, like when you click the little manage role button on Discord, it'll give you every single number of who all is under that role. We had like around 20. And I know specifically it was around 20 because we were talking about like what's our projected revenue like, all the business stuff. And right now we have currently 46 members. Wow. So we've grown pretty well. Yeah, I will screenshot that. I love transparency. So that's a really good question. Yeah, we haven't had too many members drop off. Maybe one or two. I would love to say we're 100%, but I highly doubt that. I don't like look at the numbers all the time. Yeah,
I think it's an important stat to keep in mind, though, because I think that's a measure of the value, essentially. And it doesn't always have to be monetary. I mean, I remember catching up with Jojo, and I really, really loved, the idea when you're new into the DeFi space, and sometimes, you don't want to stick your heads above water and ask what you think might be a silly question. Yeah, when you have a one-on-one with someone, you can ask silly questions. Some people don't mind asking silly questions anyway, but if you're new, you may be a little bit nervous to ask a certain question. So just kind of that vibe of having someone there as a soundboard and asking silly questions and things like that, as a paid premium service, and building up your knowledge base from kind of a newbie right into be, more of a champion in the space. I really love that. Like, so it was by the way, this wasn't me questioning the value of this. I was just kind of trying to get a sense on what other people's thoughts were in this who are obviously paid members. So Kurt just said, hey, we launched in around July. Our retention rate's pretty high. The members that have left, maybe 2 or 3 people, are the ones that in the AMA giveaway and didn't do much with it anyway. Well, that tells a kind of a compelling story. So I think that's the kind of stat that I'd want to see, like you, Kurt, like you, Austin, as a way to kind of sense check how well your premium service is. So clearly that's a really good number. So sounds like you guys are onto the winner with this. So whatever you're doing, keep it up.
Yeah, man. So, it's been pretty cool for sure watching it grow.
So obviously that's awesome for you to kind of give an overview there, Austin. It's great for people who are new, even some of the guys who may have heard it for the second time. So now, obviously, if we can, matey, I'd really now we can kind of hop into the Node Runner, and that now we know if you are a paid subscriber, you will get access to Node Runner. So without further ado, what is Node Runner? Node Runner, sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. God, Danny said Dev sounds sus. Yeah. we learned from the best, Danny. No, so what Node Runner is, kind of like what I was touching on, is if you look in the AMA questions I was dropping, that's a copy and paste of our, like all the benefits. So actually, I'm really glad we're doing this, because just like how we have the Millionaires Club, and the Millionaires Club has all these benefits as long as you have a certain threshold of MDB, that's the kind of same relation we're doing with, not as far as like the payment goes, but that's kind of the same relation we have where we just have all these different little benefits. So that's what I dropped in the AMA questions, if anybody wants to look over every single one of those. But as you see in the Sleeping Giant, that's what the joke was. We were calling this project because we didn't want to, we were in a research phase building it up, and we were calling it the Sleeping Giant because we didn't want to give away the name. Because if we said the name, everybody would know what the heck it is, right? So nice. Node Runner. So Node Runner is literally what it is in the name. We are a node validation project, but the one thing that makes us different, win your own idea. Here's our own idea, buddy. All right. Like I said earlier, I love to talk about what makes us different first, because I don't want people to think we're copying like cut and dry what the other successful projects are doing, because we are being very, very different in our approach. And I think that's what successful businesses do. They take a successful business model and then they find how they can approach that in a different way, that they either are fixing a problem or making it more efficient. Well, we're not really fixing a problem, because I don't see any problem in Drew Wolfer. I don't see any problem with Hydra Wells. I think they did great. We're just going to do it a little bit more efficient. And everybody already knows this is just an added benefit to the Cardinal crew membership. No, the number 3, because I was getting into the number 2. Number 1, we're an exclusive group. Number 2 is we take no money. Okay, so we take no money from the capital raise. So when we're raising this NFT or raising the capital for the nodes and stuff like that, and whatever phase we're in, so we're in phase 1 right now, so we're raising $20,000, and you'll understand why it's only $20,000 on the next point. But while we're raising, we don't take any money from this $20,000 we're raising for the Constellation DAG node. So yes, that is what we're getting our first node into, is DAG with Constellation. So if you're bullish on Constellation, that is literally why we are doing that. And that kind of could give you an incentive to come in if you want to. But kind of like how these NFT projects, they take like a 5%, 10%, 15%. I've seen 20% of some of the money they to pay their team, or operational costs, maintenance fee, whatever they want to call it. It's all the same. They're just taking your money, putting it into their pocket. Why, right? Just like how you see a lot of the Ponzi projects that have entrance fees or anything like that. that affects your ROI, and you got to calculate that into your ROI. We're taking $0 because this is just an added benefit to the Cardinal crew. This isn't like we're doing this to make more money. We're doing because we could raise, internally within our team 15, 20 grand and get a soft node. And we even might do that in the future. We don't know. This is just something that we brainstormed of how can we make an added benefit to the Cardinal crew and fix that barrier of entry of getting into nodes by also making you money. And this is it. So number 3 is, like I said, we are only raising 20 grand. I know that sounds crazy in the world of DeFi where people are raising millions of dollars. Hydrowell's raised, multi-millions of dollars. So did Drew Wolfer. Ace Miners, I think, raised like 700-800 grand for their Litecoin, Dogecoin miners and stuff like that. So why are we only doing 20K versus all these other people? Well, when you come at all DeFi is, and all these projects all they are is small businesses, and they're trying to scale into mainstream businesses. So small businesses start small, and then they scale as they find the growing pains, as they find what works and what doesn't. So we're literally, instead of raising millions of dollars up front, we're raising 20 grand for one DAG soft node. And then as we get that, and as we get the residual income from the DAG that we're getting, then we grow and expand. Because all this is to show people, yes, we can distribute profits from the DAG that we get through hosting that node validator. And the best form of marketing, man, is literally making people money. And once we are probably going to be one of the first of these revenue sharing NFT projects where we have already showed that we can airdrop people of NFT holders, distributions. That's the proof in the pudding, right? Is that we can do this. And then as people see that this happens, the marketing spreads organically, where now in our phase 2 raise, maybe we'll raise 40 grand. And then our phase 3 will double that, and we'll keep slowly expanding as we build a solid foundation like a normal business does. So as we scale, as we get bigger, showing the proof of concept of being able to provide the distributions, then we'll scale and get other nodes as we see fit. Number 4 is we are starting off building a massive foundation, specifically in Constellation. So a lot of these other, node validation projects, they kind of like do the shotgun approach, right? Which is not bad. It's just we're doing something different because we're bullish, super, super bullish on Constellation with what they got going on. Is we are going to go specifically head on into Constellation with building a really good foundation. We're talking for the first phase 1 to 10, where we get probably anywhere from 1 to 10 nodes. Our first 1 to 10 nodes are going to be probably more than likely DAG, because they offer 8 to 10% APY. So that's roughly what the soft nodes right now are offering, is around 8 to 10%. But that 8 to 10%, now here's the cool thing, and I'm not promising anyone returns. You will never hear me if you get into Node Runner, you're going to get a 2x, 4x, whatever, because we don't know. And that would be so disingenuous for me to say that. But right now, at the current price, if you're getting 8 to 10% APY and you are very bullish on Constellation, which is last time I checked, it was like $150 million market cap, 250 million. It varies, but a very low market cap. And it has a partnership already with the U.S. Air Force. Their technology is amazing. If you're bullish on that stuff, I mean, that could easily be in the billions of market caps, right? And that obviously translates to a high appreciating price. And if you're getting 8 to 10% now on a very low price, then you can kind of do the math in your head of roughly what a really good ROI would look like a year from now, because we're a long-term project. This isn't going to be, you're going to get rich in a week, in a month, anything like that. This is a very, very long-term mindset play. And we really want to make sure we're appealing to a long-term mindset person. This isn't a degen thing. Number 5 is we outsource all the work. Okay, so a lot of these people, they have Fiverr devs, they have Upwork devs, they have people they've maybe met online once. Every single person you see in the Cardinal house is fully doxed. You see their face, including, all right, are you ready for this, Apex? Including the developer. Including the developer.
So you have access to the liquidity.
Dude, everybody's seen my face. Everybody go over in the Cardinal house. You'll see the team. You'll see everybody has a profile picture. We've had so many interviews with everybody in the space, including the dev. Again, I can't emphasize that enough. His name's Cole. You'll see him in there. He's working his butt off right now for this code and all this stuff. But Yeah, so we even their artwork right now is in house. We have not hired anybody to make anything. And then the last thing before, if anybody has any questions, please feel free to drop them in the AMA questions, along with absolutely make them as hard as possible. I'm totally fine if I can answer it, of course. But number 6 is, like I said at the beginning of this, guys, we are not a sole NFT project. This isn't like Cardinal Houses changing into the Node Runner. This is just an added benefit. So this is just something we wanted to add as far as providing our Cardinal crew members with an added incentive to make some sort of residual income, not promised, but potentially make, as this is an opportunity just for Cardinal crew members.
Awesome stuff. I've got just a few questions. It's more around a technical element. So you may or may not know this. I know you're quite a sharp guy, though, so that you probably might know some of these. So I want to kind of get an understanding of the cost for the hard versus the soft nodes, and ultimately what are they? So presumably a soft is almost like a cloud version where you're not building these nodes yourselves. You're kind of getting them hosted by someone, and correct me if I'm wrong, by the way. And the hardware ones are where you actually build those validator nodes yourself. Second question is, I know it's a gasless chain, DAG. I'm presuming it's proof of stake and not proof of work. Again, you can clarify on what that is. And the type of validator, is it going to be validating transactions, or is it more just holding the actual blockchain for looking at changes? Can you just maybe answer some of those questions? So the first one was the difference between the hard and soft, and the cost associated with that.
Yeah, absolutely. So I can't answer this one. That's why I was really loving if Kurt could come on here, but I see Zach in the crowd. I see Kurt in there. So Kurt and Zach, if you could, because this is where their expertise comes into play with the specifics of that, because they are doing the back end work of all that. I'm just talking about the the overview of everything that Node Runner has. So I can't answer the first one, which is you said, what is the difference between a soft and hard, like an actual true node? So right now Constellation is running soft nodes, and all that really means, like in simplified terms, is that all you need is the capital. You don't really need any hardware. You don't really need any overhead costs. That's why we are building a foundation in Constellation nodes specifically, because it is the highest ROI with the less work possible. So like you hear with Gala nodes, Flux nodes, Polygon nodes, all those major nodes, that also requires a lot of maintenance fees, a lot of time and effort. We don't need that with soft nodes. We just need the money. And then we go into Constellation and we just open up a Stargazer wallet and plug and play. And that's really, if you can stake, if you can go on, say, Binance Smart, if you can go on Pancake Swap and stake some liquidity pools, you can pretty much do a soft node. You don't really need a lot of expertise to do that. The problem we're fixing is the barrier to entry, which is you need around, depending on the price, anywhere between 17 to 20 grand.
I remember, like, I think it may have been 6 months ago, maybe less. I remember they were 40K, to buy a node. I looked into that at one point because there was a lot of noise even back then about the kind of Constellation DAG. And it's almost like it's being pitched as a business-based blockchain, in the sense that businesses who want to transact, they don't have to worry about gas fees and thinking about transaction costs and that kind of thing when you're thinking about like Ethereum and stuff. So when the DAG Constellation kind of chain came out, with it being gasless, and I think I'm right in saying it's gasless chain, there's no cost, which is great in terms of more institutional buy-in, I guess, into utilizing that chain as a way to transact. So, but as I say, I seem to remember it was like 40K back then. Obviously, because of the markets, it's dropped a bit. But in terms of not so much the ROI, but when whether you're validating, so the node is a validator. So when you're validating the transactions and stuff like that, presumably you're paid out in the native token, and is it that what's being distributed to the investors of say the NFTs proportionally, or how does that kind of work?
Yeah, great question. So yes, we do get, when we host the soft validator, we're going to get paid in DAG. That's how we do that. So that's why I said earlier, if you're bullish on Constellation like we are, because that's all we're doing. We're taking a chance on Constellation, so we can't. I mean, the price is volatile. So obviously the price can go down, but it can also go up. And if you think long term, this is a viable investment and a viable, blockchain organization, whatever you want to call it, that's where it can really be lucrative for future returns. But yeah, right now you get paid in DAG, and how it would work ROI wise for everybody getting into this is they would obviously hold the NFT that I'm going to show some of the artwork for later here. So they would hold the NFT. And here is the only kicker right now that we can't specifically give DAG to our NFT holders, because Constellation isn't EVM compatible. And all that simply means is I can't airdrop you DAG with MetaMask, right? You would have to go open a Stargazer wallet with Constellation. That's what they call it. You'd have to open up one of their wallets. Then we would have to get your Constellation address, give it to your Stargazer wallet. And here's why we're not doing that, is because we're trying to make this as simple as possible. And this isn't like, anything crazy, as that would be a logistical nightmare, right? Because we would have to then make sure every single time we do an airdrop, we would have to cross-reference your Stargazer wallet to your NFT, which is hosted on the Polygon chain. So then we would have to make sure that NFT is also a Cardinal crew member at all times.
Yeah,
so
that's
it
complex.
Would just be absolutely crazy. And we don't want to mess with people's money like that. So what we're going to be doing is when we collect that DAG, we're going to ourselves take that DAG off the Constellation network, go to transfer that into Matic. So we're going to swap it for Matic, and then we're going to distribute rewards into Matic. So right now you get exposure to DAG, and then as payment, as distributions, whatever you want to call it, that would be in Matic. Now, if you're bullish on Matic, that's great for you to know as well. And hopefully we have two different hopeful outcomes. Number one is that we have a really cool partnership that may fix this issue that we can't say right now, but we have a really cool partnership locked in where if this goes through, we could probably do DAG. You'd be getting DAG. But number two is if in the future it becomes EVM compatible, absolutely we would be airdropping DAG instead of the middleman being Matic.
Yeah, but personally, and it's just my own kind of take on this, I'd be rather thinking about wanting to have DAG as an NFT owner. And I know there's obviously complications around the technical element, but given that you guys are so bullish on DAG, I'd want to buy into why you're bullish and obviously I'd do my own research, but to be paid, I guess, in Matic opposed to DAG, I don't know I don't want to sound negative on that, by the way. I just feel personally for me, if I would prefer to be paid in DAG, because there's probably a lot of people who's bullish on DAG, maybe can't afford, to buy in at the prices to own a soft node, and this would be their entry level. So I'm presuming that's what you guys want also. It's just, you just need to figure out a technical way to get around that.
Yeah. And that's where we were talking about earlier, that the main thing that is going to make a business successful in the crypto space is the trend of successful ones is you're fixing a common barrier to entry to retail investors. And that's what we're doing as far as fixing that problem is that high cost to get into a soft node. So and I totally agree. That's a great, like, I don't see that as FUD or, being negative. That's, if you're bullish on one thing, I can't help that. Right. And if we do have a potential partnership locked in where we can give you DAG, this conversation isn't even, a thing anymore, because you'll be receiving DAG if you're an NFT. But if not, for the time being, we are secondary bullish on Matic. So then you would be getting Matic. But if you want to like accumulate DAG, absolutely do not get into Node Runner right now. Or this is another thing, is because we're really looking for true long-term people and just people that want to be in the Cardinal crew in general. Is one thing we're telling everybody in any of these AMAs that we're doing, and we're not doing a lot of AMAs, we're just doing them with people we really like you all, is that do not join Cardinal crew just for Node Runner. We do not want you to think you are going to join Cardinal crew and then become a millionaire tomorrow or a year from now or anything like that. If you are bullish on Constellation and you just want to go invest in Constellation yourself, absolutely, please do that. The main barrier to entry we're fixing is, one, we're adding a monetary benefit to Cardinal crew, and two, you need 17 to 20 grand at current prices to get into a soft node in Constellation. So you'll be getting Matic rewards reflecting the price of DAG and stuff like that to get. And then in the future, if you're an NFT holder and we get that issue solved, boom, you'll be getting DAG and you have to know.
Silly, maybe a silly question, Austin, but what would stop me, I guess, just taking that Matic and then going and buy? Can I buy DAG on the open market, basically? Or does it, Absolutely. So that would fix that problem, I guess, anyway, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
if you wanted to just convert that.
If you want to get a free way of every single, not really free because you're getting it's a return on your investment, but if you want to just literally take that Matic that you get airdropped from you from distributions and then go to your own Stargazer wallet and bridge that over to Constellation and get DAG from your Matic distribution, bro,
that's how you do it.
All day you can do it.
Very good. Fair enough. Okay, matey. Well, that's. I mean, at this stage, are you in a position to share maybe what the entry price is for an investor on the NFT? Are you still kind of figuring those things out?
Nope, we got everything figured out. So as I say that, I would love to get people's feedback on this. So we are still. I will drop this one because I think this one looks pretty cool. So we're going through like the cyborg robotic theme with a bird. So if you go into the AMA question, this is what one of our potential logos will be for Node Runner. It's kind of like if you know the cartoon Road Runner, that's kind of emulated. Yeah, there you go. And this will be in our working stages because we're going to add some logos and stuff based on whatever. Because like I said, and I didn't even say this one as what makes us different. So we're not just raising money and then stopping, right? So if you want to get into Wolfer Finance right now, like we're in it again, I'm not throwing shit at any of these projects. I'm just saying what makes us different is there's only one raise with Wolfer Finance. So that's kind of roughly, this is the base of what our NFT would look like. Now, where this one is, we're getting node validators. There will be somewhere on this, like on the top left. So if you're looking at your collection, you'll know exactly what you're invested in. On the top left, it'll have a DAG logo, and it'll say how many nodes this specific NFT is invested in. In this case, it'll have a big 1 on it with the Constellation logo on the top left. So, but what makes this even different is if you want to get into Wolfer Finance right now, or even Hydra Wells, the floor price on Hydra Wells has skyrocketed. So you're going to have to now dig even deeper into your pocket to get just one Hydra Wells. But that one Hydra Wells is still the same return you would get if you got into the pre-sale or the whitelist or right at the beginning like I did. So your ROI is dramatically going to be hindered by getting in now because you have to get the NFTs on a secondary market. So same thing with like the Phoenix Fire Club, right? Your guys' floor prices went through the roof as well. So what we're doing to kind of like mitigate, like if you want to get in later, is we're doing them in phases. So right now, like I said, we're only raising 20 grand for the phase 1 Genesis NFTs, if that's what you want to call it. And this benefit right now will be the only time this will ever be a thing. Is if you're a Cardinal crew member right now and you get into the first phase of this money, your address will be whitelisted for all future raises when we scale this out. So say we do a phase 2, we will. So when we do a phase 2 and say that phase 2 raise is 2 DAG nodes instead of 1, so it'll be like around 40 grand. You have a guaranteed whitelist spot to get into that, because as we show people that we can make people money and we're getting into these nodes and stuff like that, the demand's going to just, inherently increase. So as that demand increases, you got a guaranteed whitelist. So but that's only going to be for phase 1. So how much these are going to cost? They're going to cost $100 per NFT. And where we're raising 20 grand, it's only going to be 200 NFTs. So literally, like most of these NFT projects have thousands. We're only having 200 at $100 a pop. And you can get as many. Yeah, Diamond said, how many NFT? You can get as many as you want, man.
And in terms of you guys yourselves, so how do you guys make money out of this in terms of Cardinal House? I know you mentioned at the start this isn't the plan. I mean, is this purely just for the community? So, NFTs get sold out and then you guys go and buy a DAG and presumably there's some kind of maintenance fees that you may have to pay for the soft node to be hosted. But other than that, is the totality of the value of the return going to the NFT holders? Or is
Yes.
there any way that you guys also receive any revenue from these?
So literally, just like how a real estate syndication works, because that's what I do most of my time. That's where most of my money comes from. Just like that, how those work and how it's good for real estate investors. I don't make money until they make money. So how this works is where it's DAG soft nodes, like we talked about earlier. There's very, very little overhead. We're taking very little off the top. Like I think, and this is why I think Chris or Zach, if you're still in here, I think you could maybe elaborate on what this very small percentage is. I think it's like literally 5% of what we take. So like when we get the monthly returns, 5%. Okay, so we're literally taking 5% off the top when we get those returns from the nodes, just for like maintenance and stuff. I want to get very clear to all 46 of you listening. This is not like something we thought of to like add money into our pockets. We literally want to make a monetary source of value for your Cardinal Crew membership, that it would be so cool as we scale this and we have this freaking node empire. You're literally paying like your entire monthly subscription for Cardinal Crew in just one distribution. That'd be crazy, right? And that's all we really want to do. We want to be a close-knit community of investors that have like a ton of nodes. We're not doing this to eat. We're not doing this to live or to make additional money from. We're literally just doing this to add an added benefit to the Cardinal Crew. And that 5%, obviously I'm talking about Constellation. Once we bleed into like, Polygon, ETH, anything else we want to in the future, we'll have to play with that, because obviously those have a little bit higher maintenance costs and stuff. But yeah, the money we make from this is from the Cardinal Crew memberships. To be just totally frank, that's our revenue source to reinvest back into the business. Our money is not made from node runner specifically.
Cool. Just one last question from me before we go to the audience and see if there's any questions. Is just getting an understanding of the upfront capital to get this going, because obviously you need smart contracts for your NFTs. Maybe that needs to be audited, and then obviously the setting up of the node. Is that all going to be from the raise first, or what? How are you guys having to put in kind of some capital up front? How's that going to work?
Bro, that's the beautiful thing of us, man. Is that we're all in house. We don't have to pay some overpriced Fiverr working by the hour developer or get scammed on Upsource. We don't do none of that, right? We have Cole. He's an amazing developer we have in house. That he's already the smart contracts are already coded. They're already made for the NFT project. We're literally launching in 8 days. So like,
wow.
Locked up, ready to go. We don't have any money set aside to pay anybody, because we're all doing it in house.
That's awesome. Just remember, payment isn't always financially driven. It's also time. So it's
a ton of and as we add value to this, I mean, like selfishly over time, we want to make Cardinal House into a full-fledged business to where we can do this full time, right? We still have people that are having 9-to-5 jobs, but Node Runner specifically, absolutely not. We're not looking at it as like a way of making additional money. We just want to have a cool way that we could scale with our Cardinal Crew team, that they also make money too.
Well, as always, matey, very, very eloquently explained. I'll tell you what we'll do. I'll see if anyone from the audience, before we maybe head to the AMA questions, maybe some I haven't kind of checked it in, but is there anyone from the audience who would like to come up and ask our friend Austin a question?
Make me sweat, man.
All right. Oh, we've got Kurt. He must be on a break. Let me just add Kurt up to the stage. Katie, baby.
Hey, Fex, how's it going?
Living the dream, mate.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I flipped
Yourself?
away minutes. I'm doing great. Thanks for asking.
Excellent. Excellent. Do you have any questions for Austin?
No, I answer your other question from earlier, asking about the hardware and software. Or
yeah, do you want me to go over them again? So I was keen to understand the difference between a hard and a soft node. I then want to understand for DAG specifically, what type of validator is it? I'm presuming it's not proof of work, like Bitcoin as an example, but is it proof of stake? Does it validate transactions as well as hold the whole blockchain as part of its setup, or how does that kind of work? If you don't mind answering them.
Yeah, so Constellation actually doesn't really use blockchain. It's a house chain. Chris is very more in depth onto this than I am. But so technically they don't use a blockchain. That's why it can be gasless. So technically what Constellation does is the more users on it, the faster it runs. So with that being said, what they're doing right now with the soft nodes is technically they have all the validation nodes on their behalf, and you're really just staking the DAG. So that's why when Austin's saying that it's the easiest for us to set up, it is simply hitting that 250,000 DAG price point and then staking it onto their dashboard.
Right.
They run the soft node, and then the validator node, which is they will switch to eventually. We've had a couple talks with them. They don't have plans of doing that anytime in the near future. They said at least a year, I believe, was what they were saying. And so with that, then we're gonna have to buy the hardware for it and get all that set up, which I'm already in talks with a few different companies, seeing pricing out spacing to get that space to run anything that we buy. And most hardware is going to be in between $1,000 to $2,000 USD to be able to get enough of the hardware and storage. And that's to run like anything from ETH to DAG when it eventually goes to validators to Matic, anything like that.
Okay. Very good. And just in terms of the function, so what's the function of the soft node? As in, what's the outcome? What's its purpose?
Right now, they don't really have a quote unquote purpose as terms of running the software or the hardware for it. I think you kind of touched on it the best when it's more like a cloud service. It's like they're just kind of rewarding holders to have that amount of DAG in their possession. So they're basically counting it as a test run or as a estimate of, hey, if we do switch this over to actual validators, that we can expect this many amount of validator nodes getting online.
Okay. Very good. Thanks, Kate.
Welcome.
All right. Does anyone else want to ask a question?
I seen Ted said, when will the Cardinal House remove 100 days from their approved? I guess we just probably didn't see it. Yeah, we can definitely remove that. Absolutely.
Of the MDB family now anyway, so
yeah,
it's really all good. Okay, now listen, you know, when you come to the MDB, we have the Millionaire Club, we have our loyal, most loyal members. We always like to tease out some projects who give these pitches, whether there's anything in it for the gang. Is there any giveaways for the teams? I mean, I don't like to put you guys on the spot, but you know I'm going to.
Oh, absolutely, man. What we did with House of Obsidian, House of Obsidian, I always get the two confused, is what we did was we did a giveaway of 2 Cardinal Crew memberships, just kind of like as an acting, trial run. If you get a free month, and if you find value in it and you want to continue, obviously you can pay for the following month. So you would get 1 free, Cardinal Crew membership month, just to kind of see how it is, see all the benefits that comes there. So if anybody would love to get into the running, Apex, if you just want to choose, 2 random people and then just shoot me the Discord names after this, we can them up and get them locked in.
Yeah, I appreciate it, matey. I think I'll run the giveaway bot for the Millionaire Club members. Really appreciated on that, matey. Thank you very much. Okay, I'm just going to dip in just in case I've missed any more AMA questions. But you guys always do a great job of explaining the stuff. I think we've had, as I said earlier, we've had mega AMA event, we've had singular AMA events. Obviously, we've just had this one now. And obviously, I always say, for me personally, I think the best projects keep on innovating in this space, and they're not happy with standing still, because it's such a fast-paced. It's just code at the end of the day. It's having an idea and turning something that's real into a DeFi project and gaining value from it. And I think the ones that do that the best are the ones like MDB, as an example, who's always got something new and innovative, but still manages to keep it all in an ecosystem. and cleverly ties links into that, whatever it may be. And based on what you guys are doing, it's a nice little tie-in. So you've got to be a Cardinal crew member. You get access then, and you think Node Runner's got potential, and you've got access into that. I think these kind of things are key for keeping that kind of motion going. Okay, so tell me about the points in Cardinal House. That was from Bright Zone. Tell them the points in Cardinal House. I don't know if that means more to you than it does to me.
Yeah. So what we do, and I don't know the specifics of this. I don't manage the Cardinal points or anything like that. So sorry, Bright Zone. Bright Zone's an awesome member in the Cardinal House Discord, but they're talking about. So what we do is we'll give Cardinal points out to people that participate in the AMAs and stuff, and they use those Cardinal points and cash them in for different things that we offer in the Discord. That would be a great question for either Chris or Zach, because I don't know the like what they do with that. I don't manage that or anything, but yeah, that's kind of like a rough overview what we do with that.
All right. Well, just remind me when the potential launches and things like that for the NFTs.
Yes. So, bro, we have been working on this website for literally like a month before we even thought of giving this to the public. So if you look into the AMA questions, I just dropped the website that has a timer of exactly when we launch. So it's literally 7 days, 19 hours, 3 minutes and 50 seconds. And if you want to get kind of if you like reading white papers and stuff, if you want to see, never mind, they put the NFTs on there. So I didn't really leak the NFTs, but I did leak the logo. So if you go to Node Runner Finance, or just click on that link that I put there, that has the white paper, that has the problem, the solution, what separates us, kind of like what I talked about today, how to join the Cardinal crew in that. So everything is right there if you have any other questions.
Awesome stuff. And do me a favor, gents, if you can, just please put your Cardinal House Discord's link in the AMA questions as well for anyone who wants to hop in there. It's already there. Apologies. That was Austin. You already put that up there. Yeah. Thanks, Austin. Okie dokie. Bright Zone, come up with an amazing idea on how we can reward you guys for showing up at events. He's just posted the Cardinal House point system.
Okay. They copied how that works. Yep.
I'll tell you what, Austin, is there anything that I've not asked in terms of a question that you'd want to address? Anything that you want to talk about that we've not picked up on? That you'd want to share, or do you think we've covered everything?
Man, that's everything. Honestly, I just wanted to thank you for letting us come up here. It was really funny that MDB was, I think, the official first Cardinal House project we hosted on for an AMA. So I just wanted to thank you for that. And I wish we were able to return the favor, but we obviously dates are really hard to lock in. So I thank you for the second official Discord AMA was with you all. But yeah, MDB is an amazing project. I've been personally invested since day zero. So anybody listening here, I mean, yeah, I would never, that's why we are kind of like being a little different. We're not doing the shotgun approach of having YouTubers and Twitter influencers and going to every single Discord for AMAs. We literally are working with you all, House of Obsidian, and we have a Twitter Spaces with James Pelton next week, and that's literally it. Because, we're not really doing a lot of marketing or anything like that. We already have so much interest that we actually have a Google form that people filled out in the Cardinal crew of hey, roughly how many NFTs would you get? Are you interested? And we're almost already at the 20,000 limit. So we just really wanted to add a benefit. We're not in it for the money or anything like that. We just really want to get that kind of clear.
Love that, Matey. Love that. Okay, well, listen, folks. Perfectly on the hour, pretty much, which is nice to see. Normally we get a bit short, or we go quite a way over. So nice to be within that time frame for a change. This is recorded as well. So, Kurt, if you want a copy of this for your server, please just reach out to me and we'll get that over to you. Obviously, the Discord links are in the AMA questions channel. So if anyone wants to hop over there. The website's also up there with the countdown time, which I've just been on, and it looks fantastic, by the way. Really good job on that website, guys. But I guess without anything else, fellas, we'll kind of leave it there, and we'll catch up soon.
Absolutely, man.
Thanks for having us on.
Cheers, Austin. See you guys.
Have a good weekend.
You too.